Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello everyone, good evening, good afternoon, welcome, welcome. We are starting another stream. Let's go. There is no end to our streams. They are infinite. There are infinite streams. Hello, Ulam. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. So tonight we have a very annoying problem, and the problem is the one that you saw yesterday. Now, I asked ChatGPT for help, and it's giving me a lot of good information. But the problem at the moment is this. So on the first client, right? On the first client, everything works as expected, right? So you can, well, apart from that, everything works as expected. You can also sprint. You can do whatever you want, right, with your cart, and it works as you want. So it's not bad. It works okay. But yeah, there is a bit of mess up here and there, but who cares? So on this client works perfectly. The problem is the replication to the other client, right? The replication to the other client. So yeah, you can see it, and you can see it already. You see that the rotation is not correct, right? So that this guy is perpendicular to the road, and here I'm parallel to the road. So yeah, exactly. So the rotation is not replicated properly to the other clients. I have absolutely no idea why, and also I don't understand why is not adjusted after. Is not adjusted after. But anyway, the suggestion. So the hint from ChatGPT is that we should not. Let me switch the scene. Let me switch the scenerinos. Okay. The suggestion is that we change a few things. In particular, so there are only two functions involved in the rotation, right? And I tried, as you can see here, we tried many different solutions, but so the idea. The idea is to pass this new target, right? This new target is actually an F rotator. And so instead of passing the value, right? Instead of passing the value that we get from the right movement action, we will pass a rotator. We will pass a rotator. And so the idea is that we do not recalculate we do not recalculate this, but we just do this. And so we don't even need this, right? So the value that I'm passing at that point will be identical, right? Because it is already calculated, right? So I can explain you what is going on. If you are interested to know, I can explain you a bit of what is going on. But basically the problem is this, right? We have a client. No, I don't want it in this color though. We have a client, we have another client, and we have the server, right? And yes, it looks like a face, but it's fine. So we have client 1, client 2, and here we have the server, right? So what happens here is there was the key, right? To move. This was key are creating a movement input, right? A movement input as a result, right? And this movement input is on one axis. This movement input is translated into a target rotation, right? And this target rotation, and after the target rotation, let's say in parallel, we actually call this smooth rotate, whatever it's called, right? So basically on the client 1, everything works as expected. Now the client 2 doesn't know anything of this, right? He knows 0 of this. And so what do? We pass the target rotation to the server. And we try, right? And we try to apply the same smooth rotate, which is basically interpolating to have the rotation smoothly executed, right? Let me just launch everything meanwhile. And in theory, while this is doing that, right, smooth rotate should, now I don't know, but in theory should, right, send it back. Actually, it send it back also to the original client, but considering the original client already moved, right, it's not gonna change, right? It's not gonna change. But in theory, sending it back to all the clients. I think that is what it does. It's not a problem of timing. Yeah, it is somehow a problem of timing. Yes, it is somehow a problem of time. Is a problem of replication, what is called the replication. So the server is replicating the position, right? It's trying to have the same position and the same rotation in all clients based on what has been decided by the server, because the server is the one that decides, right, where you can be. Because, for example, if there is a wall in front of you, we don't want the client to go through the wall, right? We don't want the client to say, hey, skip the wall. So the server is the authority, right? Is the authority that knows what what you can and what you cannot do, right? What you can and what you cannot. Just a second. Okay, so I'm back. So okay, so now now we do it slightly different, right? So we do it slightly different. Bro, I don't understand why it's still broken. So it's not rotating at all. I mean, it is rotating on one side, but it's not rotating on the other side. I don't get it. I don't understand why this smooth rotation. So I mean, at this point, the value, this target rotation value, right, is this target rotation is equal to what we get on the client, right? So the server should have exactly the same value, no? Let me see. 19.5 was the last one recorded. 19.5. 19.09. Why is not the same? $20.34. But anyway, is way more similar to before. But it seems that it's still not the same. I don't understand. Why does target rotation gets I don't understand. So I rotated a bit, right? So why here is 18.09 and here is 18.59? Considering that that is ridiculous. So it is actually adjusted somehow. Huh? It is adjusted by something. Because these two prints, right? These two prints are one is here, right? Well, actually, this one is after we call this function. So it's possible that this function is... Yes, this function is doing the interp. It is doing the interp, yes. But the target rotations, yeah, so I should actually print it before. Okay, if I print it before, if I move this print out, before, right? If I move this print out before, I think it would be identical. Because this is actually changing the target rotation. You know what I think? I think that it's not the greatest idea that I'm using this variable. It's not the greatest idea. Let me because that is already modified by... Ah, but here I was printing... What? I was printing delta value. No, I wanted just to print the new target Joe, I guess. Without the delta value. But fundamentally, yeah, fundamentally it was the same. The difference is that I was using this target rotation. So I go server side, right? I go server side, and server side I'm just taking this value and I'm putting into target rotation, which then inside the tick, right? Inside the tick, now I can also do it like this, but I tried already a million times and it was not working. Because then what I do inside the there is update ground rotation, right? And what I'm doing here, I'm saying take the target rotation and smooth it. Now And this happens at every tick. Right? This happens at every tick. But what I really don't understand is this freaking smooth character rotation actually setting... I mean, if we use our old method, which is add word rotation, it basically works, but it is stuttering, right? There is some jitter going on because the prediction on the second client is not is not the best. But what I really don't understand is how it is possible that our second client is not just saying it's slightly wrong, right? But he sees it completely wrong. So this is what I really don't understand. This problem is hard to solve because the ALS framework is already doing stuff, right? Even if with the new rotation mode, in theory, I have blocked completely. I don't know if I have a way to see the resulting rotation on the client, on the second client, right? I mean, in theory, I could print out every, maybe not every frame, but every 10 frames, right? I could print out the rotation of the second character, so the character is not me. And if we don't load any other character, I think will only be one printout, so I think we'll be fine. And the funny thing is that it happens only when we move and rotate, right? Because when I attach, like if I do this, right, and then I attach, this rotation, the start rotation is correct, you see? Start rotation is okay. And movement, right, backward and forward is perfectly fine. So it works good and is also smooth enough, you know? So it's only the rotation. So it's really like it's really like he's keeping two rotations, right? You see? It's like he's struggling to keep the two rotations straight. And now, considering that on this client has a different rotation and he's struggling to keep it, because it's like if the client has one rotation and the server is another rotation. Now you see this weird effect, right? But yeah, the correct one is the one that you see when I move, right? Roughly. I mean, it's not exactly, but it's roughly that. So it seems that my client tries to compensate, and he's trying to set a rotation that is not the proper one. And I really don't understand how is that possible. I don't understand why the rotation doesn't reach this client, right? Why the proper rotation doesn't reach this client? I don't understand. If we do a set rotation on the server, right? Because we do a set rotation on the server, minus 234, right? Plus 234. So why? So what is my rotation at the moment? My rotation is 234.59 exactly, right? So my rotation is this, 234.59. And the server is exactly at 234.59. But the second client is not. So it looks like this rotation is not mirrored properly. I don't know. I mean, it's so weird. When I'm moving with this guy, I see for a second the right rotation and then it defaults again, right, to the other rotation. I don't know if it's the right, if it's the client that is the right and the server is the wrong, or vice versa. But no, I think that the server is the right one for sure, because it's printing it out, right? It's printing it out here. So we have the right rotation on the server. We have the right rotation on my client. We don't have the right rotation on the second client. The second client is getting a weird rotation. It's getting a weird rotation. And I cannot understand why. I mean, one idea was that this character is not on this client, right? On this client, the CRAN does not have the proper rotation mode. And so on this client is applying the correct rotation, right, but in a wrong mode, right? And so if that happens, maybe we get this result, right? Maybe we get this result. Maybe we get this result. So how do we know? How do we know? Hello, Moon Traveler. You need to make sure your code is running as authority, otherwise in simulated clients try to adjust. No, I understand that, but my code, I mean, I don't have any code on the client, at least not added by me, that is adjusting the rotation, right? I don't. So I have the adjustment of the rotation on this guy that is carrying the cart, because when we rotate, right, if you look left, if you look in this screen at the left, right, when I rotate, he is actually adjusting the rotation, but is using the smooth rotation adjustment plus is sending it to the server. And what I see is that the server is getting exactly the right value. This 211, right? At the moment we are 211. If I ask info on, if I ask pause, I have exactly 211, right? Maybe it's too small, you cannot see it, but it's 211.59. So let's say that my client and the server have exactly the same stuff, right? Your calculation should be server only. My calculation is based on the player input, and so it needs to be on the client. And then it's based on the amount of rotation that the input is deciding. I'm sending that value to the server, and the server is rotating, right? So the server is calling the smooth rotation. And the smooth rotation, right? And this, I was discussing it like this at the beginning. And the smooth rotation, so the client is pressing a key. The key is translated into a movement input. It is translated into a target rotation. So where I want to rotate, how much I want to rotate. Then I apply to the client one the smooth rotation, so that we can predict it properly, right? And so it's even smoother on client number one. And in fact, it's very smooth on client one. And then this target rotation is sent to the server, right? Through an RPC call that is called server set free rotation, right? So we send a rotator value to the server, right? Which is this. And then the server is applying the same smooth rotate. And here is where it's setting the actor rotation, right? So the set actor rotation is done only here, right? And so the set actor rotation is then replicated to this client and to this client, where on this client he finds exactly the same rotation because we already simulated it, and so it will do no change, right? It will do no change. So the client one in fact works perfectly, right? So if we look at our guy carrying the cart, if you look only at the left, or I can make it big screen, right? This one is perfectly smooth, it's perfectly fine, he has no issue. He goes left, he goes right, it does all he needs to do, right? So the client one is good in terms of movement and rotation. The problem is the client two, right? That is receiving this rotation, and as you can see it now, is already wrong, right? Is already wrong because this guy is looking at the road and here is not. But the funny thing is then when I move him, you see that here, if you look at the bottom right, he's basically having both rotations. So it looks like he has one rotation and that is getting adjusted, right? And considering the amount, my feeling is that the second client the second client did not receive the settings. I think this may be the problem. Did not receive the settings where we set the free rotation. I think my second client does not have this. And so he has a different rotation mode. And I'm saying this because seeing the... Now, how can I... How can I be sure that this happens on all the clients? Because I have to remove the orient rotation to movement and use controller desired rotation. I have to disable these two things, and I have to set the rotation mode to free rotation. This one maybe is replicated. I'm not completely sure. Rotation mode is replicated on rep rotation mode, right? On rep rotation mode. You know what we can do? We can print out... You know what we can do? We can print out here the values when we... let's do this. Because I need to understand what is wrong. If it's the rotation wrong, if it's the rotation mode, if it's the orientation with controller, what the hell is it? Because at the moment we don't know what is it, right? We don't know what is it. But there is something on the second client that is not aligned. There is something on the second client that is not aligned. So I think we want to print out the... We want to print out the character name. Now, unfortunately, from base character I cannot. But I think we can get the Unreal Engine name. Which probably is good enough, because it will say Kran or it will say Enki based on the race. So I think we will recognize it, right? We will recognize it. And then what I want to print out, I want to print the orientation mode and all the other stuff. I want to print out these two thingies. I want to print out this. Now these are booleans. Can I print a boolean or no? Can I print a boolean without going crazy, or can cast it to int and GG? It's so annoying that we are... hello, just GTR. Hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Hey, how did you find us? It's not very easy to find us. We are a very niche stream. Very few people dare into these lands. Very few people. there into these lanes. Okay, let me recompile and we try to at least get the printout when the rotation mode is changed on the... Now, this should happen also on the client, right? Because it's on rep notify, right? So we should see that happening. Now, if that does not happen on the second client, this may be the problem. Still 5 to go. Yeah, they go up and down. I mean, we were like 97. They go up and down. People follow and then unfollow. So this 900 goal is far away. It seems close, but it's far. And for the goal of the 60 subs, we need the Anonymous to come back again one day. There was one Anonymous that gifted 40 subs a few months ago. Like that, like boom. Like easy. Yeah, but we are basically stuck on this problem, right? And well, we're not stuck because we are doing, I mean, we are reasoning on the problem and well, we are still reasoning on the problem, right? So we didn't give up. The funny thing is that if I apply add word actor rotation, add actor word rotation, right? It works way better than what you see now, because basically it works, but it's jittering a bit, not much, but it's jittering like 1 centimeter, right, or 2 centimeters. So you see that it's trembling. But it's working way better than what we see now. Way better. So at the end, if we get defeated, which I hope we don't, but if we get defeated by this, we can go back to the add word rotation. And at least is usable, right? It's not great, but it's usable. But still, you know, I would like to... Okay, let's see what happens. So now we added only printouts, right? We only added printouts. So we have the 2 clients. Let me just check which client is which. Okay, this client is this. And this client is this. Okay. So what we want to see is that when we attach to the cart, we get the rotation mode. You see, it didn't happen here. It did not happen here. Why? He printed on this client. He printed on this client the rotation mode. So yeah, so it's very possible that the second client does not have the proper rotation mode for this character. And now it didn't do it. Why? Wait a second, now I'm confused now. Huh? Am I blind or I don't see it anymore? I don't see it anymore. So it happened only the first time? I'm not restoring the rotation mode after for sure I am. You should print inside on wrap rotation mode. I mean, we can, but on wrap rotation mode is still server side, right? Did this on rotation mode changed is the on wrap? No? Wait, on rotation mode changed is the, I can print it here, I can print it here, no problem. But it's the same because one calls the other, right? So if I think it's the same, no? We are printing on the first line, so it's exactly the same. Because this is just a function that is nothing, right? It's not server, client, replicated. So it's the same, it's exactly the same. I can print here if you want, but it's just one line away. So the result will be the same, right? Now, the only question is why... Let me check 1 second if there is a condition. Let's skip something. Rotation mode as a condition skip owner. Skip owner. Because probably is assuming that that rotation mode is already set also on the client. That is possible. But anyway, I don't think the rotation mode is the issue. I was just doing that because I wanted to print out those two other variables, because I think those two other variables are the ones that are messed up. I didn't see that, but there is something wrong. What do you mean? You should print CRAN even on the other client. Yeah, exactly. This was a bit weird, right? So this rotation mode, when we saw it only on one of the two clients. So we printed what? We printed this on rotation mode change, right? If I look at the log, if I look at the client log, you see that I see it one time here. Well, maybe it is really the beginning when it's loading. Yeah, it is during loading, so it's not when I am. So on rotation mode changed, alien character, and it is 1-1, right? So these two are... well, I didn't print out the rotation mode, by the way. Which we should, but we printed rotation to movement, the use controller desire, and actually that is 1-1, right? That is true. That is true. Then we see it again here. No, this is not the right. Wait a second. This is not the right log. Is this the right log? Why is saying alien character? There is no alien character. Ah, yes, the alien character. There is an alien character because it's Levrus. Yeah, we are loading. Wait a second. Let's just disable. We are loading one character, right? Let me not repopulate anyone, right? So that we don't have any alien character. Yeah, the weird thing is that it's not doing it on the CRAN, right? So the CRAN is not. So is the skip owner? No, but skip owner should only skip the replication for the owner. Everyone else should get it, right? But we don't get it. Now this is client 1. Wait, let me check the other log because actually opening Explorer. Huh? Opening Explorer. There should be a client 2, right? Yeah, client 2. Client 2. Okay, this is the log of the second client. Client 2, right? So inside client 2, we get rotation mode changed. Actually, we got it. Maybe I didn't see it, but this is 1, 0. This is 1, 0 though. And here is 1, 1. And no, it must be 0, 0. Yeah, I think that is the problem. Ah, wait. 0, 0. So actually, yeah, because this is when I am attaching and detaching, right? Why I didn't see it on the log though? Maybe I was not looking at the right log. I don't know. I thought I did, but so basically when I'm attaching or detaching, is this client 2 or client 1? I don't know what is what. 0, 0. I think this is the. I think client 2 is the one where I have the CRAN actually. If I jump, am I printing anything? No, but if I click, look, if I click like 3 or 4 times, we have this distance camera, blah, 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 right? Yeah, exactly. So this is the CRAN client. So the CRAN client is properly getting 0, 0 when we attach and 0, 1 or 1, 0 when we detach, right? So it's getting this. So on rotation model change is actually applied properly to the CRAN client, but is not happening on the second client. The second client doesn't get anything. This is the second client. When I click on attach and detach, you see that here we don't print anything. So or the rotation mode is always the same. Yes, the rotation mode is not changed for the rotation mode is not replicated basically. This is what we are saying, right? Hello, Xirex. Hey, welcome. And you may say, why the rotation mode is not replicated? The rotation mode is not replicated because when we set it, which is here, when we set it. We set it on the server side on attach. But you see that we set it to velocity direction, and we set it to free rotation. So actually we do this setting, right? Why this is not replicated to every client? Why? Because we have the force through, but the force through is just going through this. You got some problems? Yes, we got a significant problems, because we have basically we have our cart, right? We have our cart that we can attach to like this. And then everything works well for this client, right? This client, which is the guy that is actually attached to, works without any problems, right? You can drag it, you know, and you can rotate it. Now, the rotation I did in a slightly different way. So it's not direct movement input, but is a sec-tactile rotation. And what happens, unfortunately, is that the second client, right? The second client doesn't see the rotate. Well, now I'm invisible, so maybe I should make myself visible and detach and attach. Because if you start invisible, it's a bit of a mess, actually. So the second client here sees the forward and backward without any problems, but he sees the rotation completely off. You see how it's jittering? It's like if he's keeping two values, the real one and the wrong one, right? And from that point on, is completely wrong. So I'm trying to understand why the second client does not get the proper rotation of this character. And considering that the rotation is a very fundamental Unreal Engine information, what I'm thinking is that probably the rotation is right, but the rotation mode is not right. Or the orient to camera, or all the other, you know, all the other things, right? I can ask ChatGPT about that. So my feeling is that the rotation is properly replicated on the second client, but maybe the rotation mode or are not replicated. Can this make the rotation look different on the second client? They can absolutely make the client appear rotate different even if the actual rotation is replicated correctly. These movement flags are not replicated. They are just plain bool member not marked with a U property replicated. It means when the owning client of the server changes and the other client never get the change. The remote client movement component keeps whatever default is spawned with. Why this is causing a visual mismatch? The character component decides how to update the actor facing each tick. If the orientation is true, we compute desired rotation. If the rotation is true, it blends with the controller rotation. If those boolean differ on the local copy and the server copy, The replicated act of rotation may fight with the movement component of rotation logic. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what I'm thinking. That is exactly what I'm thinking. That since on the second client we don't have those values replicated, the result is that it's fighting against that. But I don't know. I don't know if I really want to have a function. I mean, what I can do, right? What I can do. So when we attach, right? When we attach and we detach. Crap! It's not anymore like that. Yeah, here. Receive, transport, attach, right? But the thing is that I am the problem is that I'm setting this, right? I'm setting this on the on the server side. So why my client, the one with the cart, why my client has it correct then? If it's true that it's not replicated, how can the client have it correct? Because it was 0, 0, right? So it was false, false on my CRAN client. Trying to make a chunk, and when I cast a snowball, it is supposed to be a hole where it hits. Interesting. Is hitting snow or is hitting what? You can do it with decals if you want a 2D. I mean, if you want a 2D result, I think decals will be enough. Do you really want a 3D hole or do you want just a 2D hole? Because that's very important. I would suggest you go with a 2D hole unless the player can really go close and see it. I think the line of code, I think that line of code 391 is wrong. 391 on which I don't have a 391. In base character. Set rotation mode. No, this is saying, I think that what this is saying is that when we set the rotation mode, right, if we are on the client, because this means if we are on the client, right? If we are on the client, we also call it server side, right? You want to make it a 3D all? That is not very easy. So it is saying if this is called on the client, do it on the client and then do it also on the server. If you are already on the, if this is called on the server, this will not be called again, right? So it doesn't loop. So it looks okay to me. And by the way, this is standard ALS code, so ALS is working. So see you, Xerex. Hey, thank you for stopping by. So I don't think that this is the problem. I think that what I want to try to have in my client, in my second client, these two things disabled and see if it makes a difference. This is the test I want to make. I want to disable it for the CRAN. There was a server. It can be called by server and client. So if you call it from the server only, you don't re-execute the second piece. If you call it from the client, you execute both pieces. I think that is how it works. How do I set these two things for the client, for the CRAN, when I am on the second client? On this client, I want that guy to have these two settings false. Or I set them false from the beginning and GG. Which is kind of a trick, but... yeah, maybe. Maybe. Is a big trick, but I think it's a good trick. Do I have a begin play here? Do I have a begin play? I don't know if someone else is setting it though. I don't know if someone else is setting it. Let me try like this. So basically I'm forcing that value to be always false. In the PS character begin play, right? So that the rotation will work. There should be no rep rotation mode. Yes, you're right. Yeah, if he reaches both clients, I think we can put it there. Yes. Did we say that it reaches both clients or not? No, I forgot. Yeah, I think we saw the printout in both places, right? Or no? No. What? I don't remember. We said that on client 2 was not there. So if I put it on rotation mode, it will not be there. Okay, let's try like this. Like this, it should be forced, hopefully. So the mode is now, I mean, the orientation, all that stuff is like when I'm attached. Right? It's like when I am attached. But this thing is very weird though. I didn't think that the orientation would make it different. I don't know if ChatGPT is telling me the truth, because I didn't think that the orientation of the character based on the controller would make a difference on a second client. Also because the controller does not exist on the second client, right? That is a bit strange. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's not that. But I want to be sure it's not that, right? I want to be sure 100% is not that. I want to be sure 100%. Because at the moment is the only thing that that I think is misaligned. I don't know what else can be misaligned between the two clients. The rotation is such a fundamental element in the game that it cannot be wrong, right? It cannot be that we have a wrong rotation. Okay, so I attach now. Now we want to see what happens. It's still exactly wrong as it was before. It's still exactly wrong as it was before. Assuming that we got that replicated, right? I think your idea to put it in the unwrap, but I don't remember if this freaking unwrap is. So here we are on the CRAN client. Okay, yes, here we are on the CRAN client. So, and here we see on rotation mode changed. Oh, by the way, it's 1.1. So yeah, that is getting updated later on. So my change didn't do anything. Here we get 0.0 because here we are attaching to the cart, and here we are on the CRAN client. While on the other client where the Enki is, we get Enki character. We get CRAN character 1.1. But we also get CRAN character 0.0. On wrap rotation mode. On rotation model change 0.0. Okay, so it is 0.0. So it's not that. So for whatever reason it gets replicated. We'll just print those value every second and tick. Yeah, we can also do that. But it seems that is actually not that, right? It seems it's not that. Because we see, this is the second client, right? And yeah, also because here it says Enki, right? Enki is the cat people. And he's saying 0.0. So actually he's getting the proper rotation mode. Fuck. It's like if he's adjusting it, but my question is, who is adjusting it? Is the server adjusting it, or is the client? Arrgh. I mean, it will be nice to know. Will be nice to know the rotation on this client for this character, right? Will be nice to know. I mean, we can print it on tick and we can print it somehow, but the problem is, okay, let's print it. Let's print it. I mean, it will be nice to know if the client has the wrong rotation. But I don't think it does. I don't know. I'm so confused. I can show you the best that I got. Okay, the best that I got is that if I use add actor rotation, it nearly works, but it's still jittering a bit, but it's not jittering that much. It's just jittering very, 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 very little. And since it was jittering very little, I said, oh, why not add the smooth rotation? And the smooth rotation fucked up everything, right? So this is where all my trouble started. When I started to use the smooth rotation, which works perfectly on the first client, on the CRAN, right? Let's call always the CRAN the first client. So it works good on the first client, but it doesn't work properly on the second client. And that is what is really, 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 really confusing me. Because basically there is an update ground rotation, right? This thing is printed on the tick. And it is printed on the tick of what? Of client and server? Yes, because it is the tick of base character, right? So it is basically executed on all clients continuously, right? It is executed on all clients continuously, right? And there is also an update character movement, and I don't remember what it's doing. But this, I think, is the gate, I think, is the crouch, no crouch, that stuff, right? So this update ground rotation is executed continuously. And I have my own rotation mode, right? I have my own rotation mode. Let's print the rotation mode. Wait a second. Let's print the rotation, because if this is executed also on all the clients and I have the wrong rotation mode, right? Rotation mode changed. How do I previous rotation mode? Rotation mode. How do I print an enumeration? It will be 0, 1, 2, 3. So the value will be 3 probably. Yes, it will. So let's just convert it to let's just convert it to a number in GG. And by the way, I think we can print it only once, because now we are printing it 2 times all the time, right? So we have the 2 lines, right? On rep rotation, or yeah, it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same printout. So let me just remove the other so we don't overdo it. This line is not really needed. It's the same as this one. Okay, let me print out the mode 1 second to see if the mode is wrong. Maybe the mode is wrong. Because if the mode is wrong, right? If the mode is wrong, then in this tick function, the server will do something and the client will do something else, right? And then yes, you will have a major problem. Major problem. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem, my boys. I don't know. I hope so. Right? Because in this function that is called on tick, if my client does this and my server does this, obviously, right? Or vice versa, obviously the rotation will be completely different, and they will fight. They will fight. Client and I think that is what is happening. I mean, I think there is no other explanation. I think there is no other explanation. I think the explanation is that the rotation mode is different between server and client. And the update ground rotation is fucking up, is fucking things up. That looks the problem. Well, that looks the problem if is really different, right? We don't know. Now I'm printing out the value. And hopefully we will see. Because I cannot imagine what else could be, right? I cannot imagine what else could be. It's just a freaking rotation. I mean, it's not physics, you know, it's nothing science fiction. It's just a freaking rotation of a character. It should be super easy. Okay, so when I attach, let me just become visible. When I attach, right, I get this printout, right? Mode 3, okay, which is my free rotation. In mode 3. Yeah, but why is mode 3 1 1 and here is mode 3 0 0? Huh? Didn't we say that it was mode 311? So the rotation mode is correct, but the other two parameters are different. If I detach, is mode 011 and is mode 010. So it's all fucking different. So yes, the two are not replicated. And on the server is even different. Oh my god. So the server is 011. The CRAN client is 010. And the second client is 011. So it's like the server after the detach, after the detach. If I attach, the server is mode 3, which is correct, 00, which is correct. This second client is wrong because it's mode 3 and is 11. And the first client is correct because it's 300. So the second client does not have those two parameters correct. right, does not have those two parameters correct. Okay, let's ensure that we do it. I mean, let's add another function. I don't care. Let's add another function that we are sure that we are replicating that thing, right, properly. I mean, I can just do a broadcast, or I can have another variable, whatever, right? I can have another variable. Well, actually, I have driver on the cart. I have. Let me see what I'm already. Let me see what I'm already replicating, because in reality, I'm already replicating a bunch of stuff. So, if I go on the transport, right, we are replicating. If I go on get lifetime stuff, right? Yeah, so basically when the cart is ready to move, and when we replicate the driver, the only problem is that I don't know if we have an onRep notify here. No, we don't have an onRep notify. No, we don't. We only have a normal replication. Cargo to show. Cargo to show is on rep cargo. Okay, so this happens on all the clients 100%. Okay. Okay, on rep cargo visible. Okay, so this happens on all the clients inside my cart. Okay, fantastic. So we have the driver, which is here we are on the second client, right? And so here I want to set those two freaking modes. I want to set I don't have them. Crap. Here. I want to set these two things to false. Now, I don't really know if I don't really know if I can. I mean, I don't know if I can from the second client to change the character movement of the other guy, because I think it's not my ownership, but anyway, I don't know. I think this thing makes probably no sense, but because basically on the second client, I'm trying to change the two parameters that are usually belonging to the first client, right? But they are actually different. Maybe they are completely irrelevant. I think they may be completely irrelevant. Cran on other client is running that function too. Cran on the other client is running that function too. You mean the adjust rotation? Yes, because it's in the tick. So definitely yes. It's running the, yes. Yes, but the rotation mode is well, anyway. We will see in a second. I think this will happen, and we will see 0 also on the second client. And if it makes no difference, I'm going to develop a Tetris game instead of this game. I don't know. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I don't know. It's a pity, you know, because it works perfectly, apart from the rotation. Everything else works. And the difference is why the back and forth works. The back and forth works because for the back and forth, when I press the WS, right, so forward and backward, it is directly translated to movement input, right? And it is handled completely by character movement and completely handled by Unreal, right? Including smoothness and prediction and everything. Now, I cannot do the same with A and D. I mean, I can try to go back and do it again, but I decided not to do it that way because the left and right was not applying the proper rotation. At least this is what I saw, right? So it was not really rotating the actor. It was changing the velocity. It was changing the movement, and the character was looking left, was basically sidestepping, right? That is why I didn't do it that way. Because initially I did it that way, but it was not working. And so I said, well, if that movement input doesn't work, I can just... Oh wow, it crashed. I think it crashed because I'm invisible. Or I think because it's something that I cannot do. PS transport line 50 is exactly that, yeah. I think maybe get character movement doesn't even exist on the second client. This is a bit weird though, eh? No, you cannot do it. Yeah, I don't know. ChatGPT is always a bit fuckerinos, but driver is null. Driver is null. Driver is null, you say? Ah, yes, you are right. Driver is null. Driver is null because it happens before. It happens when the cart is loaded at the beginning. No one is attached. You are right. That's exactly. Thank you a lot. Because I was on the wrong path, and ChatGPT obviously is telling me stupid stuff. But yes, because when the game loads in, this on-wrap cargo visible is happening immediately, and you don't yet have a driver attached. Yes, so we have to do it after, right? So I mean, only if driver is valid. If driver is not valid, it should not do anything, yeah. Yes. Thank you. The problem is that every time I start the game, it takes me like 1 minute. But we can only test it in this configuration. I mean, other functionality, we can test it simpler, but this one, we have to test it in this configuration. So with a full server client, double client, and with all the items, the cards, the stuff, because I cannot use the dummy database and we need a full example. With everything. I just want to see if I can set this freaking... Because, I mean, if the rotation mode is the same, and if the character movement is the same, and I'm just saying, hey, can you please send a rotation? I mean, why it should be so widely different on the second client, right? Why? Why should be so widely, completely different on the second client? That I don't understand. Okay, so now let me make myself visible so that the other guy can see me. Okay, so now we attach, right? And when we attach, that code should run. Okay. It didn't crash or anything. We still have 1-1, but I think because the cargo... but wait a second, because the cargo... Because I have to change the cargo if I want that to happen, eh? I can change the cargo, it's no problem. I change the cargo. Oh fuck, what happened? Huh? Why? Why the cargo? No. Why the cargo is not working anymore? Huh? Okay, we have a problem on removal. But anyway, now the cargo changed, right? Now the cargo changed. So that piece of code actually executed. So okay, let me see if I move. So if I move forward, backward, works okay. If I rotate, it fucks up as usual. It fucks up as usual. If I detach, 0, 0. Now it's 0, 0 though. Bro, he's already jittering before I move. How is this even possible? Now I'm only going straight, right? And he's already jittering. He's already jittering, even if I didn't even rotate. So it looks like he's keeping the rotation on the client of that object somehow. Ah, Jesus. I'm going crazy, I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. What's inside smooth? Yeah, that's a good question. I checked it a bit. It's using an interp, linear interp. So Anyway, I think we removed this, right? So this didn't make any difference. So, which by the way kind of makes sense. It was just like it was just to have all variables the same on client and server. By the way, we have a problem when we remove items from the cargo. The cargo is not disappearing for whatever reason. We have to check that. But that's an easy change, right? It's just a very easy change. So what's inside smooth character rotation? So smooth character rotation is, by the way, I don't know why they do it in 2 lines, which is like unreadable. Okay. So what it's doing is getting the target, right? The target is the rotation you want to be, right? The rotation you want to be. And this we pass it by adding the delta rotation based on what you press, the key you pressed, right? Plus or minus or left or right. So it's +1, -1, plus the current rotation. And so like, let's say that you are at 90 degrees and here you get 91, right? So you enter with 91. It's going here and it's doing an interp constant 2 from the current rotation to the target, right? Because this target rotation is updated continuously. And then is setting the actor rotation to this interp 2 between this target rotation and this get actor rotation. I don't know why exactly it's doing it twice, but anyway. But anyway, it's interpolating twice, right? So it's just... Okay, I will show you my other solution because at this point I'm kind of out of ideas, really. So my previous solution was this, and it was actually working decently, but it was not working perfectly, but it was working decently. So I think we can still do this. I think it's not a problem. But basically what I was doing this. Wait. Basically, I was doing. No, but I think I can even do it simpler now. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. I think I can do it even simpler. Wait a second. I can just... wait a second. I mean, the other there is one thing that I'm thinking now, that I'm actually putting 0, 0 for roll and pitch, right? And I'm only changing the jaw. I don't know if that is maybe a problem, but in reality I should read it from the current. Now I don't know if my character is actually rotating in the other directions, but in theory it's not. But just for extra safety, let me just do this 1 second. right? Just for extra safety, let me do this. Oh fuck. Here is Z. You never know if it's Z or whatever it is. Because there is no pitch, no Joe. But anyway, it should be like this, right? Hopefully. Huh? He wants a rotator. No. Okay, fuck it. Peach Joe roll. The problem is that the rotator is a different sequence, believe it or not. So it's not XYZ, but is XZY or something like that. Oh my god. Don't ask me why the rotator is so stupid, but it is. I think I commented in the code one day, but I don't remember what was it. But I think it was I think it was a comment. Yeah, it is. Warning, F rotator is weird. Is F rotator YZX? Peach Joe roll. YZX. Oh my god. YZX. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that the Z we take value, right? No, fuck. Get actor rotation is already returning a rotator. I'm stupid. Sorry, guys. I'm like GG. I'm like he's already getting. So we don't need this shit. He's already correct. We just need to get the current rotation pitch. Sorry, it was not a vector. I just brain farted a second. Okay, and the Joe, we want to get it from value, right? This is what we are saying, right? We want just to set the actor rotation, GG. And then I want to remove from update ground rotation. I want to remove this, right? So we do nothing. We do nothing, right? We do nothing. Okay, sorry. It may be confusing what I did, but basically I removed smooth character rotation from the server side tick, and I just added the rotation manually. The rotation manually on the client. Now the problem is that when you are pressing the key, right? So let's say that you are trying to rotate, right? You are rotating in a curve like that, right? But it's not that smooth because client to server will send this, and this, right? So you will get points in the rotation. And this is what you will see now, probably, if he's doing what I'm thinking he's doing. So there is no smooth interpolation between these points, and so you will see the cart skipping a bit, right? Skipping like right? But it will not be as crazy as we just saw before. This was the best solution I got yesterday. And then I said, oh, why we cannot smooth it? And this is where I started to go crazy. Last thing I try inside update ground rotation, smooth character should be inside as authority. I see. That's not a bad idea. That is not a bad idea. But the thing that makes me think, you know, because here, if you see, this is the standard ALS code, right? And how now we added our own rotation mode, so we know that we are on the cart and we can do whatever we want. But if you are not on the cart, this is getting updated. This is getting executed, right? And this is getting executed when you move. And if you are in velocity direction, you see that they do it. They do smooth character rotation anyway. So they don't say if as authority, if not as authority, right? So it's basically doing it anyway, right? And this is the standard ALS code, and it actually works. Aiming, right? So if you look around while aiming, you see it on all clients and it works properly. So, I don't know. I'm more and more confused, but fine. Okay, so now we have no smooth, right? We have a raw value, so we are sending a raw value. And I can tell you that it was working. Badly, but it was working. So there was no craziness going on. Right? There it is. You see? So this is the best I can get. I mean, we can leave it like this, but you see that look at the second client. You look here at the second client, right? If I go forward or backward, it's very smooth, right? It's very smooth because there is true movement input and blah, blah, blah. If I rotate, you see that it's doing tick, 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 tick. Now, let me go in a place where you can see me. Tick, 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 right? Back and forth, very smooth. Very smooth. Rotation. Tick, 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 tick. Now, it is terrible. I don't think it's terrible. But it is bad. Yeah, it is a bit bad. So that is where I got, right? But at least the character is in the right position. The cart is in the right position. I mean, everything is in the right position. So basically, the difference between these two solutions is that here I do set actor rotation directly, but you get this result, right? You get the tick, 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 tick. Now I said, why we cannot call this freaking smooth rotation, right? Which is in theory done by purpose. So so at the moment we don't do anything, right? In update ground rotation, we don't do anything. We don't do anything. And this is on the tick, right? This is on the tick. So on the tick, we don't do anything. What we do is server side. I mean, client side, we ask the server to do the rotation whenever we click with our fingers. We press a key, and we also do the smooth rotation on the client. The smooth rotation on the client seems to work perfectly, but on the server, right, at the moment, the only thing that I'm doing, I'm setting the new actor rotation. And considering there is a bit of delay between client and server, and this is not interpolated in any way, we get the tick, 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 tick. Which at the end is probably how I will leave it, because if I cannot find another solution, this is just how I will leave it. I will leave it like this and GG. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. It looks, I mean, it doesn't look fantastic, but I mean, it doesn't look fantastic. You see, it's like tack, 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 tack. You can say there is the cart that is hitting the ground, and so it's having some jittering because the ground is not smooth. I don't know. It's a pity though, but I don't have another way. Right? This is what happens. So you may say, how can you transform this into an interpolation, right? And my idea was, we do it through smooth character rotation, right? Which is already provided by ALS and is already doing the shit. But I mean, we can try again. We can try again. We can try again. But as soon as I change this line with this line, and I can put the same rotator thing. Right? So with value and stuff. I don't know if I have to set the target rotation though. Is this target rotation needed? Because target rotation I think is used by ALS somehow. Wait, let me do one test. Let me do one test like this without setting this target rotation. Ah no, because it was used in the update ground, right? So no, it's not doing anything. Without the update ground, it's not doing anything. So as soon as I change my set actor rotation to this thing, and the delta time I take from where? I take like this. The delta time may be wrong. The delta time. And also this target interp speed and this actor interp speed, I have no idea what values to put. Because here if I look at how ALS is using it, he has very strange values. Sometimes is like 500, sometimes is 1000, sometimes is 5, sometimes is 15. So I never know what the hell is the right value. So I used 15 here. Target interp speed. So I don't even know how he's using this, right? Target interp speed is here, is in Interp constant 2. Interpolate rotator from current to target with constant step. So I have no idea what values I have to put in target interspeed and actor interspeed. I have no idea. I have no idea. So maybe those two values are wrong and this is fucking up everything. It's possible. But you see that with set actor rotation is not that bad, right? I mean, it's bad, but not insanely bad. The problem is that I think is not too bad because it is on my machine. And so the difference between client and server is basically zero or is very small. But I think if we test the same on the real server, where the lag is higher because you know you have a higher ping and higher latency, I think it may get worse visually. I think it may get worse. It may. I like how it always compiles happily and then it doesn't work. It's always like, yeah, your code is perfect. Compilation done. And then it's broken. Should we leave it? Should we leave it with the jitter, with the small jitter, guys, or should we bang our heads more on the wall until we find a solution? Because maybe we will, but I don't know. Maybe it will take me 1 week. I don't know, or forever. Maybe forever. Should we bang our heads on it more and more or not? What do you think? Became night. Became night in game. Okay. I don't remember what I did, but I made a change of some kind. So forward, backward, always good. Okay, now we rotate. Pretty much the same. What? Now we have the smooth thingy. Huh? What? No, I don't understand. So the smooth thing is not smoothing. Hmm? I removed set actor rotation and I added smooth character rotation with the, I mean, the difference is that I removed the target rotation from here. But the result is basically the same. The result is basically the same. The thing that makes me a bit mad is that if you really look at it closely, I don't know if we can, but if you look at it closely, right, is not, I mean, it's not very easy to show, but he's not doing this. He's doing this. Understand the difference? So it's not like it is getting the value with the delay. It's like it's constantly bouncing between two values. At least this is what I see. I mean, we should maybe record the video and then play it at 0.25, but we can try to do that. But I can see it visually, right? It is going back and forth, you see? Fuck. I mean, it looks to me like he's... Look at the fence at the back, right? Look at the fence at the back. And you will see that the vertical beam is going left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. It's not going left, 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 left. And that is very strange because it, you see? At least it seems to me. And it's not very easy to see. But it looks like it's bouncing back and forth, right? Like if you had two values that is bouncing between. Did you remove smooth character rotation inside? Yeah, I completely removed it on the tick, yes. I completely removed it on the tick. So the only thing that we do is here. So every time we get an action, right? Every time we get an action, which by the way also has a print line, so maybe, you know, the print line is also slowing things down. But anyway, every time we have an action movement, we go through this and we just set the actor rotation or the smooth character rotation. The result is the same. The result is the same or very similar. If I remove the smooth from here and I set the target to what I want it to be, right? And then inside update ground rotation, I put back this shit. Which, by the way, I think I should do exactly like I did now, because I think it's cleaner, right? So we consider the other two. We consider the other two. We consider the other two axes, right? You know what is the problem that I because here delta time is different, right? So, but anyway, as soon as I do this, right? As soon as I do this, so I'm getting the current actor rotation. I change only the jaw because the pitch and the roll, I keep my current rotation. And then I use the delta time, which is actually the delta time of the tick. Okay, this is the delta time of the tick. And then I'm calling smooth character rotation. The same way all other, all other functions here in ALS are doing. Now, well, it's not really true though, because I'm using this target rotation, right? And this may be the problem, because I don't have another variable where I set my, okay, let's do it. Let's create another variable, because this one is actually used internally, and I think it's a bad idea. Okay, let's do this. 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 Because I think that this may be also a problem. Target free rotation, okay? Target free, so it is a completely new variable, so we are not messing up with any other variable, right? That already exists, right? We are not messing up with any other variable that exists. So we will just set it here. Okay, let's try this. Maybe this will do something. Maybe the problem was target rotation. Maybe because to be cheap, right? I said, why I cannot use a variable that is already there? And maybe that was too cheap, right? It was not a great idea, maybe. Target rotation is something of ALS, and I don't understand exactly how it's used. But my understanding is that is the rotation where you want to be. But I don't know, maybe used differently, right? So let's, I don't know, maybe it was my mistake on target rotation. Because the other functions in update ground rotation, right? If you go, why we don't have update ground anymore in the bookmarks? I don't know, because we deleted something. You see the other cases, the standard ALS, you see they are using like stuff like this, like last velocity rotation, or they are using jaw value, which is coming from aiming rotation. So it seems that they are saving stuff, and that target rotation may be something that was not to be used. But our target free rotation gonna have the correct value because I'm setting it here. Sorry, maybe I did it a bit quick, but I'm setting it here, right? So that is our input. This is our input. No, but target free location should not be replicated because what happens is this. We press the key, right? We press the key. We rotate on the client because we can, for prediction, right? Then we call this function. This function is setting the target free rotation variable, right? Server side. Here we are server side, right? And then on the tick, yes, here on the you are saying this should be executed only on the client, because target free rotation will be 0 on the client because it's not replicated. Yes, you are right. Yes, we should do it only if it's not Huh? What was it? Wasn't his server? Huh? No? We can use the authority. I know the authority is always confusing me a bit, but so you are saying let's do it only on the server side. Okay. We do it only on the server side. Okay. Yes, is 0 otherwise. Yeah, well, the target rotate. Yeah, maybe that was the problem actually. The target rotation. But then, sorry, how does it work here? Probably because last velocity rotation is actually. These things are not replicated, right? And ALS is using them, but it's possible that it's calculating them. Is calculating them in the previous function. Wait a second, I have an idea. 1 second. He's probably calculating them because before update grounded rotation, he's calling this. And maybe this is updating all those variables everywhere. No, seems not. But yeah, probably is updating those variables somehow. Maybe some of those variables I think are part of the animation blueprint and they are updated by the animation blueprint. That's possible. Let's see like this. Did I say is dedicated or is not dedicated? Yeah, he's dedicated. If it's only the server, then there will be no smooth on the other clients. I understand what you mean. So you mean that if I just run on the server, the smooth is useless because anyway it will be sent to the clients so slowly that they will still show the jitter, right? Is this what you're saying? So that the only way to have the smooth is that I have the value on the yeah, but in the same way, I mean, I have to send the value to the client, no? How can the second client know what I pressed, right? The second client doesn't know how much I'm turning. Doesn't know if I stop or if I press left and right. It doesn't know. I still have to go server side and then go to the other client, no? The second one will never know unless I'm telling him. So I think that replicating this target free rotation is the same as just sending him the data. No? I mean, the only one that can really predict is your client. Your client is easy because you know exactly where you want to be. Client number 1. In fact, client number 1, the smoothness always works. But I think we are understanding way more how the system works, which is anyway nice. I mean, it's a bit of a learning experience, right? I mean, maybe we are not solving the problem, but we are reasoning on the problem and we are learning more stuff, and I think it's nice. I don't know if I will remember all of this, but in 1 year from now, but anyway. But anyway, wow. It looked weird already. It looks weird already, but fine. Let's try first just back and forth as usual. So we just go back and forth and then we try the rotation, okay? So back and forth, okay, so forth and back in this case. Okay, this works without any problems. Now I'm going to rotate. Oh, wow. Is doing worse than before, I think. Well, or the same as before. I don't know. I think it's probably worse, but I mean it's similar. It's similar. So you see on the left is fantastic, right? Here is fantastic. It's perfectly smooth. Everything is nice. The cart is bouncing up and down without any problems. It's absolutely fantastic. If you play it single player, is a beautiful card. The second client needs to smooth between all the new values. I don't know, I'm getting tired of this problem, really. I'm working on this problem like since, I mean, like 3 hours yesterday, 3 hours today. Starting to be tired of this problem, really. So what we are saying is that we would like, right, the second client to get the target. We would like the second, I mean, we can make the target we can make the free target thingy replicated. But if we make it replicated, right? If we make it replicated, then do we have to... So we can, let's say that we make it replicated with an onRep notify, right? And the onRep notify is the previous value. We had a so how do you get the previous value in a non-rep notify? Do you get it automatically or what? On state changed. No, but this is not a non-rep notify. This is just a normal function. Previous mode. I mean, can I call Can I just broadcast, you know, to all the client? Can I just broadcast to all the clients the? Well, I can just get the current rotation. Yeah. I get the current rotation and then I get the new value. I don't need the previous because the previous is the current rotation. Okay, let's try. Let's try. So what we will do, we will replicate this on rep notify. What is it? Notify using something, right? Using something. Replicated using, right? Replicated using. So we will do replicated using on rep target free rotation. Target free rotation, right? So then we add this function. Like this. Target free rotation, right? No. What? He's getting the previous mode. How can he get the previous mode? I don't understand how is the replicated using automatically giving you the previous? Huh? I'm a bit confused. Okay. So here we are on the client. Here we are on the client, right? Let me just print this out so we see when it happens, right? Okay. So now when we are here, right? And we can do skip owner, right? This would be one of the cases where we don't want to replicate again on the owner, right? So I think that we will skip the owner for this because the owner already has the proper, right? The proper thingy. So here we call our smooth stuff. What is it? Here, right? And I mean, yes, if we want to do it right, we can. I mean, we can ensure that there is no confusion on the other axis, even if I think that the other axes are fine. So delta time. Delta time. Delta time is always the one that is confusing me, because I can get the delta time like this, but is it a good idea? I don't know. And by the way, is this using the previous rotation with the, I mean, is using the car, I mean, here we are on the client, right? Here we will be on the second client. So the second client will have, yeah, is interpolating based on the current actor rotation. So I think it may work. Now the only thing we have to do, we have to add this free target rotation in the get lifetime GG thingies, right? And we will have to do it with a condition to skip the owner, because the owner we don't care about it, right? Okay. So now basically what happens is that I press A or D, and this is sending to the server a message here to set this new variable. This new variable is replicated to all the clients, and the clients are using smooth character rotation to actually interpolate between the rotation that they have and the rotation that it should be. And it is done constantly, right? So I don't think it will work correctly unless you are the only one who set the rotation. What do you mean? I am the only one. I mean, the only one setting the rotation is the one that is moving the cart, right? That is going through the WASD key, right? Press the WASD key, go through the server, set the target free rotation. Now we change the variable, right? So we have the target free rotation. No, we don't do it here, right? We do it here. So we go server side, right? We go server side and we set the target free rotation, right? And we do it here, and this one is replicated, so you get here the target free rotation. You get it here for that character, right? For client, for the CRAN, right? And here you smooth interpolate. Why you think it should not work? And by the way, thank you for all the discussions. It's very nice. Why you think that is not gonna work? I think it's gonna work. If the smooth rotation does what it should do. Now, this is a bit overkill, right? Because we are basically replicating a variable constantly, server to all the client. But I think there is no other way. I mean, we are sending that instead of sending the rotation. I mean, you try to smooth and server tries to correct you. Yes, but in the same, I don't know. But continuously, right? So I always restart from my last position. So every time I get that smooth, Yeah, the problem is that this move may happen multiple times. Yeah, for sure the replication happened constant. Yeah, this is what I don't know if it's going to mess up things, right? Because if the replication happens continuously, I don't know if it becomes an infinite loop, right? Where I'm always chasing my tail. Now is always night, so we also have to do this freaking setting. I mean, if worst come to worst, we just leave it as it is. We just leave it with the jitter and GG. I mean, we are not making GTA 6, right? We are just making plane shift, so it's fine at the end. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That rotation was a bit weird, actually. What the fuck? What is happening? What? I don't understand what happened. The cart was like moving weird. Is it better? I think it's slightly... No, it's fucked up. Is it better or is it the same? Bah, it's about the same. And also there is kind of a weird stuff that happens when I'm switching left to right. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. When I stop, it's like... So I think it's worst, actually. I think it is worst. Okay, I think I tried all I could, and at the moment I don't have other ideas. It's impossible. Okay, let me try one more thing. Let me try one more thing, okay? So we don't need this replicated using anymore. Because it didn't really do anything good. Didn't. So we don't need this. So we don't need this. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to try, that I tried at the beginning, but it was so much at the beginning that now it seems that it was like a year ago. And then I have to go because it's midnight, but was to say this, right? Which maybe is the only possibility. Was to say, why when we are pressing this freaking WASD, we cannot just apply a movement input on the side, right? And I think that the problem was because this add movement input works, right? Works because it works for the forward and backward, right? Forward and backward works because it's Unreal doing everything and smoothing the movement. So why I cannot use my I don't have it here. I don't have it here. Why I don't have it here? I don't remember. F rotator, add work rotation, second point rotation, rotation. I don't have it here. Let me ask ChatGPT 1 second. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Can I go back to use something like add movement input, but for rotation? Add rotation input does not exist. Yes, because the problem was that I have to go on the controller, Joe. I have to go on the controller, Joe input, and the controller is my camera. So if I do it like this, the camera moves instead of the character moving, right? And if I switch to the character following the camera rotation, then when I move my mouse, I'm basically rotating the card, and this is not what I want, right? Yeah, because you see that it's asking you to put controller rotation Joe to true, and then the camera was moving. Okay, GG. I think I tried everything I could, boys. That's it. I cannot do more than this. I spent enough time and effort on this, and we will have our thing jittering a bit, and that's it. It will jitter a bit, and fuck it. It will jitter a bit, and fuck it. I don't know what to do. So you are saying that this is useless, huh? Yes, in fact it was the same. I mean, using smooth character rotation on the server, it doesn't make any better. So at that point, you just set the actor rotation and GG, right? You just set the actor rotation and fuck it, like we did before, right? I see. Okay. These jitters, but that's the best we could do. GG's. GG's. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I cannot do more than this. At the moment, unless some of you have more ideas, I'm done. I'm done with this shit. It's a pity though, but Maybe I will revisit it in the future, but I think that if we spend more time, is wasted time. It's too much, right? Time for just a bit of a jittering. And it happens only when you rotate. So hopefully, you know, you rotate a bit and then you go straight for quite some time, and then you rotate again and you go straight for quite some time. So maybe in a normal gameplay. Now we will have to see what happens. We will have to see what happens in a real server, right? Because maybe the jittering will be very strong, considering that the latency will be strong. So I don't know. I don't know. But fine. So in theory, we don't even need the tick. We don't even need the tick. Yeah, true. We can do it here, right? So the minimum was like this, right? So we do it here. So whenever we change the value, whenever we receive a new value, we set it on the server side, and that's it. I think I will remove also the ground, the update ground. Yeah, we don't need it. This is useless. This is useless. This is obsolete. Ah. This is all obsolete stuff. This is the best we can do. This is the best. You still having a place where you can ask some answer and I don't know. I mean, I can, but it's too complex to explain. You know, there are certain problems that are so complex to explain that only people, that no one will take the time, right? I mean, if you put a question, I mean, we have our own setup. We have ALS for movement. We are attaching a cart. I mean, it's freaking mess. There should be a good way to do it, but it's not this way. Yeah, maybe there is a way. I don't know. To me, you have to do it through character movement, right? Through the character movement component somehow. And I think that one way could be that I disable the idea of moving the camera with the mouse and moving your character with the keys. So that when you drive the cart, you go into a simpler mode. And the simpler mode is that you just drive with your camera. And so then we can go into orientation, controller orientation, Joe mode, that other mode, and I think that we can fully use the Unreal Engine embedded rotation. But I don't know. It's a pity. I mean, I'm a bit annoyed, I tell you, because I don't like giving up. As you may imagine, after 20 years of making this game. I don't like giving up, really. It really makes me mad, but at the same time, I prefer to do something, you know, that is useful in terms of gameplay than just something that is nice to see. And I think that players will accept, right? Will accept what we have at the moment. I think they will accept it. They will accept that it's not the best. It's not the best, but it kind of works, right? What the f... Huh? What happened now? What? Hmm? What? You went crazy for a second? It got a weird rotation for a second. I don't understand how that happened. It's like if the character got completely out of position. But now it's not happening anymore. The problem is that you don't see it, right? You see it only when... Huh? How that happened? Maybe it happened because I was flying a bit. I mean, there are a number of other problems with this solution, right? But I think at the moment it is the best we can do. And when you go straight, it looks nice. So it's just if you are rotating a lot that it looks a bit jitter, but when you go straight, it looks nice. We can try to remove all the printouts so that it's not... I don't know why it did that actually. But it did it. And also if you play single player, right? Anyway, if you look at your own client, right, it looks perfect. Look at how nice the rotation is. Wait. Yeah, I mean, if you go, yeah. I mean, this is a problem that we don't collide with stuff, right? The card does not collide. And like this is like a vertical thing, so... But that's fine. That's by design. I didn't design it so that... I mean, we could add a collider and try to stop the character when the card is... So, like here is working fine, but if you really go a vertical, right, it may bug out as normal, but it's fine. In a normal terrain, it works very nicely. Yeah, exactly, when you integrate in your project. But look at how nice it is for yourself, right? So if other people are not watching, it looks very nice. Look at how good the cart is going into this hole, right? With the left and right rotation and everything. Oops, something happened. I'm flying because this hole is a bad hole. Can I exit from this? Oh, it became night. Okay. For some reason I got stuck into that. But you see the cart is rotating properly in 2 axes. This axis, so the pitch, the roll, and the wheels are rotating properly. And when I put stuff into it, right, we get boxes, right? We get boxes, and if I put more, I get more boxes. And all of this is properly replicated, properly working. And the other guy sees it, hopefully. Yes. So I think it's good, guys. Only this rotation is a bit jittery, but fuck it, right? Fuck it. We have one bug, that is that when I remove everything, it seems that it's not removing. Yeah, when I'm removing stuff, it seems it's not removing. Let's see if I put it on the ground. If I put it on the ground, it actually works. If I put it in my inventory, it doesn't. Okay, so I think I know where the problem is. So there is a function. So update cargo, update visual cargo, update visual cargo. So here we are from move from work container. No, move from container. No, yes, move from work container. Yep. Move from work container to my inventory. Move from work container to my inventory here. Move from work container to my, yeah, exactly. Here. Here or here? Here. Okay, we can do this last test and then I'm gonna go. But anyway, the status of the cargo is properly saved to the database, right? So this is a real container, so it can really contain items. You can transport items. The position of the cart is saved properly to the database. I mean, everything is working. The only thing that is not working is slowing movement based on the weight that the cart contains. And that's it, I would say. How to smooth adductor word rotation? No idea. This is the problem we were fighting for, in the last 6 hours. Let me recompile to this last test and then go to bed. But anyway, we tried, so sometimes you just have to try, and we learned a lot of stuff, I guess. Also thanks to you, Moon Traveler. Thank you for the comments, because there was a lot of stuff that I was not thinking immediately, so it's very good. I'm losing my voice somehow, but Yup. So tomorrow I will not be here because I'm role playing, but I will be here. Fuck. Saturday. I think I can stream Saturday morning. I know it's a bit of a weird timing, but I think I will stream Saturday morning, because Saturday afternoon I'm going places and I will not be here. And Sunday Sunday, I think I can stream in the evening. By the way, I have no idea why the actor was... I mean, why the cart was acting weird, right? For a moment. But fine. Okay, so now in theory, if we load and unload from my inventory, it should remove the items. Let me see. So I don't have to drive it, right? I can just put stuff in. And yeah, and the boxes appear, and if I remove it, hopefully, yes. So it works. It works also if I drop the stuff on the ground. The only thing, there is no sound. There is no sound when I load stuff into a container. Because there is a sound when I equip. Like that. Or when I de-equip. Like that. Or when I remove. Like that. Or when I equip. Like that. So there is always a sound, but it seems that there is no sound when I put stuff into a container. Which is a bit of a pity, at least a tud, you know. Okay, we can add that. We can add that. That's not a problem. Let me see if I use these buttons, take and stack. Ay. Why? Why take all is not doing anything? Take all. Because I don't have it selected. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it works. You have to select the car. Okay, so basically everything works, guys. Well, apart from that jitter, but we leave the jitter. So now the next step would be to understand how players can get a cart. Vroom vroom as a sound, great idea. I wonder if someone made it in the marketplace, but last time I had some plugin that made me refactor. Yeah, I think they do it with physics. What I do with a very simple line trace, right? Because here I'm just line tracing. I'm not using physics, and I think I like it because it's so much simpler, right? So here I'm just line tracing the wheels to the ground. And then I'm calculating the angle that this thing should, right? I think the rotation angle is a bit small, but I mean it takes a lot to rotate. It's kind of annoying actually, but you can sprint. You can sprint. I think one funny thing to see is this. If you have a mount, I don't know if I have a mount here, but if you have a mount, what happens? Uh-oh, now we're gonna break it. If I'm mounting the mount, and then I'm attaching to this. Oh, wow! The camera is a bit fucked. Yeah, the problem is that the rotation is... But it actually... I mean, the camera is kind of fucked. What is this? Why this camera is showing up? I don't know. Yeah, the problem is that the rotation becomes... Now, players will only use it like this because they can go much faster. But it works! It just doesn't rotate properly, right? Because when we are on the mount, we use a different rotation and everything. So the problem is that we will have to change that as well. I don't know why the camera I think the camera is somehow yes, because it's colliding with the cart. I think we can fix that. And also the height is not calculated properly because can I move it? I can move. Our game allows everything, you know. Our game allows. Yeah, but you see the wheels are not rotating. The wheels are not rotating because the cart is looking at my character, and my character is 0 velocity. Because the velocity is on the car. Now if I detach from the mount, I cannot. Interesting. If I detach from the mount, because the cart was attached to me. Yeah, but it kind of works anyway. It kind of works, you know. I think I will leave it like that. The only but there is a problem though. The position I think will be wrong. The position will be wrong. We have to do a few more tests, but anyway, I mean, it's not that bad. Obviously, if you carry it manually, you know, it's much harder to drive. If you do it with a beast, it's much faster, but maybe it's too much faster. But yeah, you see the wheels are working only if it's on you, because you have velocity. What happens if you stop to use it, saving inventory? No, if you stop to use it, it stays here. This is a container, right? This is a container like a chest. It's no difference, right? This card is exactly like a chest. The only difference is that this one can move, but it's the same. So if you leave it on the ground, it stays on the ground, right? You disconnect. If it contains stuff, people can open it. People can look, open it, and can put items and can remove items, right? And it's just a container. So you have to be careful, right? Now we have to think how players will obtain these cards, right? How they obtain the card and how they use it and how they store it, right? I don't know. Okay, guys, I have to go. But anyway, it's been good. We didn't solve anything, but well, actually, we solved one thing, that removing items now works. But it's pretty cool that it works with a mount. It's very nice. Just the wheels are not rotating, but it's kind of cool though. This guy needs food. I don't have anything to give him at the moment. I don't. I have a fish. Do you eat a fish or not? Do you want a fish? Oh wow, he ate the fish. Easy. Did you hear the sound? Chomp, 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 chomp. He's actually eating fishes. Easy. I think he doesn't need any more. I think he's well fed. Are you fed or not? Who are you? This guy? I think energy is not working. Energy is not working. Ah, this guy. Look at the skin of this guy, huh? Very nice, huh? It follows me, by the way. You follow. Do you want to use the cart? And if you want, I can have you use the card. Do you want? Do you want to use the cart? Okay. Come here. I show you how it works. Ah, it's a bit too high. No. Okay, now it's okay. You see? You can use it. Easy. Can we jump? No, we cannot jump for whatever reason. We can also go on slopes. Yes, we can. Even if on the mount it seems to work slightly different. But it does a bit of... Yeah, it works. It works also with the mount, yeah. It's just faster because the mount rotates. The mounts rotate super fast. I don't know why the mounts rotate so fast, by the way. I don't think it makes a lot of sense, but fine. Okay, guys, with this beautiful view of us running on a horse, pulling a cart, easy, I will leave you. And I will try also to say bye-bye. No, I cannot. PT. Yeah. That's it. See you, boys. I will see you probably Saturday morning, okay? Saturday morning, probably. I have no idea. The Groffel can use and follow you. The Groffel will follow you, but they cannot use it because they are not mounts. They're not mounts. Bye. By the way, guys, if you want to click follow on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube, that's always a good idea. And also, if you want to try our game, remember that our game is released. You can just go on our website, click on download now. And you can play it for Windows, Linux, and Mac. And in the next release, you will also have the cards. Believe it or not. Insane. Bye. See you Saturday morning, maybe. Bye-bye.